morning, gorgeous. Great to see you. I'm so excited to be here. It's a lovely day. It may be cold, it may be a bit cloudy. Maybe cold, it may be cloudy, but there is the sky. And the wind is from the south, which is what makes it cold. But it's lovely. Look, you can see the little cloud drifting over there. It's coming from the south. Good morning, Jen. Lovely to see you. Look at the magnolia there. Let me get a bit closer. It's kind of difficult. You can see it's a bit of a forest. I'm pretty sure I can't walk right up to the magnolia or the Wi-Fi will break off, but look at that. G'day, Linda. Lovely to see you. There we go. You can see it's got those beautiful goblet-shaped flowers. And it's, yeah, this tree is going to be a monster. I know it, just by the speed at which it's growing. And look at all the foliage here. It's just this wild jungle of all of these leaves, but it's fabulous. And in autumn there are so many flowers. Those are nerines. Most of the foliage is nerines, and you can see that the jonquils are just finishing and starting to fall over, and it's all good because the next act, if you like, is coming on. So just a quick look at the terrace garden from the bottom, which is how I see it. Good morning, Liz. Good morning, Annie. Yay, we're all together. And up here, up the back, let me get a bit closer. Going walkies. Good morning, Robin. Good morning, good morning. So up here, can't really see so well, but the kowhai trees have got yellow blossom on them, which probably means before not too long you'll hear tui swishing and fighting and doing what they do up there, because they fight over the blossom and they play and they make sounds and beautiful bird song. Hello, Julian. And here you can see the flowers. These are like what's in the tree, but different, obviously. There's a little different varieties of kowhai. If I get just a little bit, the leaves look not dissimilar. They're the same family. So there we go, showing off the native New Zealand flora today. Don't even know what this is called, but it's a thing that pops up and I really like it, and I'm pretty sure it's a native. There's something else that has yellow flowers, but I really like the foliage. Good morning, Amy! And there's the New Zealand flax, and you can see the flower stalks. Those are last year's. They'll come up with more later. And this is pingao, which is a grass that grows... Okay, I had to go back to the house. The Wi-Fi finally fell off. There's a grass that grows on beaches and in really tough places, and it's quite beautiful. Let's come back to the little gentlemen, because they are so elegant. There is nothing like the little gentlemen. They're so beautiful, so perfect. Look at this. See if we can get up close to just a couple of them. Look at that. They're so, I mean, it's too perfect. They're so pretty. Just, every year I just celebrate these jonquils when they come out. They're so perfect. And, you know, we still have heaps of jonquils, and we have the white hyacinths, which is kind of an oxymoron because hyacinth means blue. But these are white ones, and the soldiers and sailors with its gorgeous foliage, which I always love to get close to so you can really appreciate it. You know, the flowers are great, but the foliage is almost better. And then masses of jonquils. Nothing really to say except that they're wonderful, and I did manage to prune the hydrangeas. Yay! The very last of the paper white until next season. So, you know, it's all happening here. And these very old-fashioned daffodils, they're just singles, they're just small, but they're so elegant. Aren't they glorious? So we have those coming out. Very tall, see? Tall foliage. They fall over. But they're lovely. And look at all the snowdrops. Actually, they're not snowdrops. They're snowflakes. Snowdrops are a different flower. We'll get up close. See if we can see the little green... Yeah, see the little green dots on the flowers. I just love them. And inside, these beautiful orange anthers. Little details. It's the thing about flowers, if you really look at them, there's so much to see. And clearly the magnolia is being fantastic. So here it is, just waving in the breeze. There is nothing missing. And they smell good too. Yeah. The star magnolia only has a faint scent, but most magnolias are heavily scented. And you can see this one up the back is starting to blow as well. So it's magnolia time now. All right. And there's the neighbour's camellia. So, yeah, everything flowers. It's truly the beginning of spring. Right, let me get to the topic. How much time? Oh, yes, 5 minutes and 55 seconds I have spent ambling around the garden, but there's so much happening we can't miss out. So, we were talking yesterday about why the heck hasn't my manifestation worked? Where is it? What's the deal? You know, why am I still not seeing what I've been putting all this intention and energy and thought into? And the thing about that is that unless you can get your thought to match your feelings and then sustain that and live that and act that and be that for an extended period of time, well, that's why things don't happen. Because we keep looking outside ourselves for some evidence that what we've been doing is working. And we're looking for things to come in the way that we expect or that we can at least predict. And when you're manifesting stuff and you're doing it with the 5D model of things, which is going into the quantum and doing it there, because there really isn't any other way to do it, because the science that I've learned actually supports that, and I'm not going to even try to do that in what we've got now, which is 15. You know that you can't look for evidence outside yourself. But we all do it because it's human, it's natural. You open your eyes and there's your world, and you know you've just done all this visualizing or imagining or sensing or whatever it is you do. I don't visualize, I sense. Quite often I don't see anything, but I sense, I feel, and it gets to be real. I get my thoughts and my feelings in alignment, and then I open my eyes and my world is quote unquote still the same. And at that point, it's not the same actually. It's just I might not have perceived the difference yet. At that point, I have a choice. I have a really big choice to make, and I have this choice to make over and over and over and over and over and over again, and so do you. Hear the tuies? And the aeroplane. That's not a tui. You know those are beep beep noises? Those are tuies. Not seagulls. And so the choice is, do I let what is happening outside of me influence and determine and actually run and be the boss of how I think and how I feel? In other words, do I let what I see when I open my eyes, when I look out my door, when I get into my life, you know, when I wake up and there's my life, do I let that throw me back into the same old ways of thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking and doing and being and thinking and feeling and doing and being and thinking and feeling that I've been doing for the last however long, or not? And okay, so I can't go into the or not. The reason why this is so essential and so difficult is because we are used, I mean the brain, by the way, is actually, its job is to make sense of what we see, of our internal experience, is to connect up our internal experience with what we see outside of us. That's what the brain does. So, you know, I open my eyes and I see that the room where I sleep is not renovated and hasn't been for 30 years. I walk into my kitchen and I see that there's a repair that needs doing in the cabinetry because I broke something and I haven't had the resources available to do that. I look in my laundry, which you sometimes see when I walk through, and it hasn't been tidy for a long time. And all of that, and the carpet on the floor is like 40 years old, completely worn out, totally threadbare. It's got holes in it. It's got tape over it. This is real. This is my house. Okay, you get to see the beautiful lounge, which I did up 14 years ago. Hi, Nancy. The lounge is gorgeous, and the kitchen has had a significant renovation. It's just I broke something in it. So, you know, the rest of the house has not been renovated. And that state of not renovatedness used to really get my goat, and I was so frustrated and so upset and so angry about it, and I was trying to make more money and I couldn't, and so, you know, and I open my eyes and look at my house and here's more, because I can't, you know, make more money, and here I am feeling frustrated now because I can't make more money because my house is a mess and I can't make more. And round and round and round and round and round, that thought and that feeling becomes a loop. Now, if I go into that some more, when you think a familiar thought, you're firing a neural net that is in your head. There is physical architecture in your brain that is directly the thing that makes that thought happen. There's a set of neurons that have connected together. Inga, lovely to see you. And when that neural net fires, it can be a little one for just, something small, and a big one for a whole memory and a set of feelings and thoughts, and you remember the thing that happened, and, it can go on for hours, or that, like, it's a massive thing or it's a small thing, depends on the size of the neural net. When that neural net fires, you get neurotransmitters. And those neurotransmitters talk to the emotional brain, and you get neuropeptides. And the neuropeptides instruct your hormonal centers to release hormones. And this happens very, very quickly, and that hormonal rush gives you a feeling. And if you have done that feeling over and over and over and over again, like me with my frustration about money and my house and my house and my money and my money and my house, and I'm so frustrated and I can't do this and I'm so upset about it, blah, 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 you condition your body over time to expect those hormones. Like the pet expects to be fed. I'm hungry, give me what I'm used to eating. And, if you have a cat or a dog or a rabbit or whatever, and you, for whatever reason, you need to change their food, they may just say, what, are you kidding? Give me my food that I'm familiar with. I don't want some different food. It's supposed to be better for me. I don't care. Turn up their nose, walk away. I've seen it happen. And you're looking at your pet and thinking, you're obviously not hungry enough. But it's conditioned. It's used to what it's used to getting, and our bodies are exactly the same. So, and this is me, this was exactly me, it's not the same now. If I have this heinous, revolutionary thought that I might want to think differently. Oh, and by the way, when you have that, thought makes for neurotransmitters, makes for neuropeptides, makes for hormones, makes for an emotion. You know what happens? That emotion immediately prompts your brain to think more thoughts just like the way you're feeling. So you think, and then you feel. And then you're feeling, so you think some more about the way you feel. And then you have some more chemistry, and that is the loop. That is how it works. And, just like the dog or the cat or the rabbit or the bird that is used to its food and doesn't want to change, your body gets used to that diet of emotion. And when you want to think a different thought and thereby have a different feeling, your body says, get lost. You trained me to be like this. I am the mind now. I am autonomically, you programmed me to be the mind of your suffering or your frustration or your depression or your I can't make this happen or your I'm alone or I'm sick or whatever it is. You programmed me to be like this, buddy. You did this for 30, 40, 50 years. Now, you didn't know. You're just being human. But the body, you can't argue with that. It's just conditioned, and it knows what it likes to eat. Just sticking with that analogy, it's really familiar with the diet of emotions that you've been feeding it. And if you want to change your life, it's how you think and how you act. So, you have a thought, you do an action, you have a feeling, because experience, the outcome of an experience is always going to be an emotion. Good, bad, or indifferent, you have an experience, you have an emotional reaction to it. Period. So you have a thought. You go and make your coffee in the morning, which I don't do. And you think, oh, that coffee's lovely. There you go. Thought, action, feeling. And you bet your bottom dollar the next time you get up in the morning, you're probably going to want to repeat that again. You've conditioned yourself to have all of that lovely feeling about having the coffee in the morning. If you want to do something different in the morning, like you decide you want to give up coffee, your body is going to, and your brain too, they're conditioned into that pattern. Do you think it's going to be easy to change that habit? No, it takes energy. It takes will. And it takes, you've got to overcome the fact that your cells are expecting that caffeine hit at that hour of the day, and the flavour and the aroma and the process of making it all and the anticipation of it and the sound of the machine or the kettle boiling, whatever it is. Yeah. And you do have to claw your way out of that thing if it's really, really strong. And for some of us, they are really, really strong because, if you could stick a dye in your brain, for a CAT scan, but it was tagged to identify every synaptic connection that's to do with feeling sad, you would see where the sadness is in your brain, and you might go, oh my God, there's a lot of it, so I've got to prune all of those connections apart. Now I see why it's so hard for me to say, actually, I'm going to practice feeling something else today. Let me check the time. So this is the challenge. This is why we don't manifest stuff, by the way. Dear Slava, it's lovely to see you. Because, coming back to this whole thing, oh, listen, you can hear a poo waka waka. I don't think I'll be able to show you. They're too quick. It's a little fantail, it's a little wren. It's behind me, but yeah. The reason why we don't manifest things is because, and I got to qualify this because we can beat ourselves up. How we think and how we act and how we feel creates our lives. Period. Right? And remember, yesterday? I talked about, or the day before, I talked about, your brain makes this. You have a thought, and that creates an electrical charge. It does, and it broadcasts to everything. And remember, you're quantumly entangled with everything, so it's not just in your immediate vicinity. It actually, the whole universe knows. All of our thoughts, scary thought, that all of this is quantumly entangled and all creating and all being in a moment. There's a whole discussion. You have that thought, it's electrical. You have a feeling, and it's magnetic. The heart produces a measurable magnetic field. And when you get those two lined up, when you have a thought and it matches the feeling in your heart, then it's like you have a really clear Wi-Fi signal. You're sending a broadcast, and your heart is, as a magnetic thing, actually drawing that future, that desire, whatever it is, to you. But if your brain is thinking, I'm abundant, I'm wealthy, money loves me, I feel fantastic, I'm so delighted, and inside you are kind of bullshitting yourself. Because you don't really feel that way, and you're trying to whip the emotions up, and we do this, and we need to. This is part of the process. You're thinking, shit, I really don't feel like this. So, what do I do when I'm in that space? And by the way, it happens. Well, what I often end up doing is saying, I can't really emotionally embrace this thought. I've actually got to scale the thought down to something that I can emotionally embrace. So, I might say, okay, well, I can't emotionally embrace the idea that I'm really wealthy today, and I can't emotionally embrace the idea that money wants to be with me because, whatever, blah, 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 forget the story. No, let's not fire that neural net again. But maybe I can embrace emotionally the thought that there is ease in my life and that I have enough right now. And that might be all that I can do. And I remember that was all I could do for a while. It was just, hey, right now, I'm just going to be in gratitude for the fact that I actually have enough. And there are so many people in the world who don't have enough. And, all the things I'm bitching and complaining about, other people would be absolutely thrilled to have those as problems. Oh my goodness, let me just come into gratitude for what I do have. Forget feeling and being overwhelmingly abundant, because I can't do that, but let me come into gratitude, because most of us can do gratitude, and gratitude, when I say most of us, it can feel really foreign. But remember, we've been trained to feel gratitude when you receive something. So if you feel gratitude in advance, if you genuinely practice feeling gratitude for whatever, you are saying to your body in that moment when you really feel grateful, I am receiving something and it's really, really good, and I'm so grateful for it. And what's that? You've just convinced your body that you're receiving something wonderful. And in that moment, this is a whole nother discussion which we don't have time for, you are changing your epigenetic expression. Remember, you've done resentment and frustration and desperation and everything else for however many years. And all of that has changed your epigenetic expression too. But in that moment where you come into gratitude for what you have, you change it in a different way. And that's why, and you've lined up a thought and you've lined up a feeling. And if you then find some way to embody that gratitude, even just to go and say to somebody else, who hopefully is going to not look at you like you're mad, or even just speak out into the empty room where you are, I'm so grateful I have enough. So you embody what you're feeling. Then you really get to live that for a moment. And if you keep doing that and becoming that person, embodying that practice of lining up a thought with a feeling, and the feeling is much more important. Andrea! Yes, not for what we will receive or might receive, but for what we have right now, because here we are, Here I am. Everything's okay right now. And I'm just been so busy my entire life worrying about the future and pissing off, getting upset about what happened before. But right now, here I am. Wait a minute. I'm alive. Wait a minute. I've got an internet connection. I'm listening to this person raving on Facebook about something which sort of makes sense half the time. Wow. All of the things that means I have are amazing. And there's lots of people in the world who don't have those things. Wow. And suddenly you change your state. And if you keep doing that, this is the thing. This is the why it takes time. It is not a quick fix. And it's not for everybody, because it takes will to choose over and over again to change your state in the face of your circumstances, in the face of feeling alone, in the face of not having enough money, in the face of pain and sickness and struggle and whatever else, to say, no, I'm not going to let my environment, what's outside me, dominate and drive my thinking and feeling, which then directly says to my cells, you got this chemistry, you got to do this genetics, Whoa. I was just listening to Dr. Joe live, the question he asked himself, Joe Dispenza, what message are you giving your cells today? It's that profound. Moment to moment what we do. So anything you can do to change your state from moment to moment literally changes your body. And over time, we persist, we continue to change ourselves. As he says, changing your energy changes your life. And changing your energy means changing your emotional state. I can't say any more. I'm out of time. I'd love to say more, but I'm out of time. So much love. Choose you. Choose your state. Every moment. Doesn't matter if you fall off the horse 50 times. It's getting back on. Which is you being great. Big love. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.